in your experience?
Because Dali only creates enigmas.
When people say McLuhan is the enemy of print, they seem to forget that he has spent the last 35 years of his life in minute analysis of the printed page and in the minute teaching of kids how to spell.
We're playing 2,500 years in reverse. Everything that happened from the 5th century
So the eyes are put back with the rest of the senses?
Yes. And
this area that we're in, what do you call it mostly? I would mostly call this Osborne Village.
Statistic that will reassure all those who live in a state of anxiety about the future of print or the book. In the first place, let me say that the book will survive because of Scripture.
Yeah?
I see McLuhan as a 60s person in a way, where he was right for the 60s. What do you think he would be doing today? If he were here today, would he be saying the same stuff, or have things changed?
No, he's a 60 person. 2060. That's when the crowd's going to know what he was saying. 2060, maybe early.
On page 41, there's that image that looks like Confusion Corner.
I had a rowboat on the Assiniboine.
This could be anywhere in Winnipeg, Western world, with regard to
I had a
the
rowboat on the Assiniboine.
by the Assiniboine or the Red River.
Well, of course, I was brought up in Fort William, which is not too unlike. Well, actually, it's a totally different terrain. The soil is different. Yeah, it's not like this. I agree. This is now this is.
Of course, this is
Saskatoon, Don't tell me it reminds you of Fort William Harbor.
No, it doesn't.
It's too picture-sweet.
Yeah, that's right. Picturesque. Picture what?
Picture-squeak.
Squeak. Oh, I see.
Well, now this is literally the picturesque, and the picturesque consists in jumbling the senses, but using a point of view, as using nature as if it were a picture. Literally, that's right. It's where the word came from. Making with nature as if it were a picture.
This could be anywhere in Winnipeg by the Assiniboine or the Red River.
And a sailboat on the Red River, and they were about half a mile apart.
After school.
We were a while on the one river, and when I went after school, after I finished delivering my papers, I could go down to the Red River and sail. And I did these things all the time.
How old were you then?
Because society's really to blame.
2060, maybe early.
That's when I was 6 years old, or 10 years old, or 12 years old. I would make these statements at the dinner table. I always had ways of seeing that have been unconventional. As a small child, I was told at the dinner table over and over again by my father, would you get up and say that to a group of men?
Of course. Because you said things like
Yes,
what?
because unconventional things.
Like, can you remember?
No, because I was only 6 or 8 years old. But I would say, of course I would say it to a group of men. Naturally, why not? It's true. Now, very few people want to know anything. They feel they already know anything. All they need to know, they already know. So if you have anything to say at all, it's going to be very upsetting to them. And so, since I have always had ways of seeing that have been unconventional, as a small child, I was told at the dinner table over and over again by my father, would you get up and say that to a group of men?
Of course. Because you said things like
Yes,
what?
because unconventional things.
Like, can you remember?
No, because I was only 6 or 8 years old. Because it happened all the time. It wasn't just once in a while. And my father was a pretty good sample, you see, of a middle row-of-the-road man, a flat-footed, sort of middle-of-the-road person, a non-intellectual. He liked arguments.
They asked me, by the way, in the press conference the other day about the newsletter, isn't some of your thinking transcendental? And I said, yes, most of it's incidental.
When people get close together, they get more and more savagely impatient with each other.
Well, why is that? Because of the nature of man?
Confusion.
Things happening many levels at once, as in a myth. The word word, I think I've mentioned once, is mythos in Greek. Word is myth. In an information age, the whole culture becomes word.
Gonna get them guessing. Also, if you leave them unread, make sure you post a story. Post something on Instagram or Snap.
Quote, we are the sex organs of the machine world. You know, that one day we...
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah, McLuhan was brilliant. And that quote has always been one of my favorites. Because, okay, what are we doing?
The whole damn Western world is finished. Everything that happened 2,500 years ago with the discovery of writing, at least phonetic writing, every pattern that developed from that world of the visual orientation of man, all the laws, all the philosophy, all the individuality, all the civilizations.
The period of the Civil War, the big electric event that was dawning on the world was the telegraph. The telegraph had become commercial by about 1840 and had a profound effect on news gathering.
Don't attach yourself or your civilization, your culture to it, and look at what it is.
All the civilizations, literally civilization, the idea of the citizens grew out of that world.
The Chinese ideogram is a wonderful instrument of unified sensations. It is so richly unified that most people in our 20th century have begun to study it very carefully as a corrective to our highly specialized alphabet.
And the visual space is the space in which the eye operates, where no two things can be in the same place at the same time.
And this is one of the strange results of electronic circuitry in which you have everything going on at once, including no division between actors.
Though he was considered a prophet of technology and modern communications and so on. He was a scholar. He was a Catholic and he was a medieval scholar, and his understanding of things was very much conditioned by his awareness of history and past cultures. Something about McLuhan, I think, that was misunderstood by a lot of people who thought he just was thinking only forward and not backward as well, but he was really a great medievalist and historian.
And between actors, audience, and authors and readers.
Literally civilization. The idea of the citizen that grew out of that world.
No, I don't think so. I think that there's a tremendous potential for education in this, in that particular mode, in terms of pattern recognition rather than data assimilation.
Civilization, the idea of the citizen that grew out of that world, finished.
ただの機械なんだぜ。
それは差別発言だ。発言の撤回を要求する。は非迫害主義者だ。被害に参加。
Promise we ain't ever gonna leave him, Gail. Promise we ain't never gonna give him up. We ain't never gonna give him up again, Evel.
Benny O'Mayo.
Brian, huh?
Hey.
at some point, I think that technology is going to fuse with us.
Yes.
And we're going to become...
It's already happening.
Yeah.
And Elon Musk talked about it on my podcast, that we are cyborgs. You just carry it in your pocket. It's a phone. It answers any question you want. You can talk to it. It'll give you the answers instantaneously. It navigates you.
Mandatory magic.
Sure. Yes. I'd like to call myself a UFO. That's the kind of item I put in the dictionary. An unidentified flying object is in the intellectual world. Which an unclassifiable verb.
Service environments have taken the place of political policies. Service environments have taken the place of political policies. Service environments have taken the place of political policies.
Yeah.
The fact is that the idea of sex as a consumer commodity, the love goddess assembly line, came in with Hollywood. It began with the assembly line of the 19th century. It reached its peak with Hollywood and the real world pouring off those images.
I'm right in this, Philip. It would not specially preoccupy a radio audience or a movie audience.